Hey Whiskey Tube, this is Casey with F&G Whiskey, and today we've got Michter's Toasted Barrel Finish, and this is the sour mash, coming in at 86 proof, so pretty low on the proof point. I looked high and dry, or whatever you want to say, for this bottle. One of the local liquor stores does like a tap hunter, and I was out of town in Seattle at the time, so I missed out on the release and just kept pressing, kept going to different liquor stores, and finally my local got 3 bottles, and so I was able to nab one of those. Coming in high, 100 MSRP, so I had a lot of high hopes for this, but then I also was a little bit reserved due to the fact that it's 86 proof. So I'm like, how much, flavor can you pack into an 86 proofer? So we've got a review pulled up here. That's what we like to do on this channel is, kind of go through the reviews, see if we're finding the same notes as these experts, because I'm no expert at it by any, stretch. On this one, it says on the nose, they get a lively butterscotch, rose petals, nutmeg, very interesting aroma, light apricot and apple scent layered on top. Let's see if we get any of these notes. Definitely get that butterscotch. I can get that apricot apple maybe a little bit. It's, from what they're saying, it seems to be a lot more easier to find. I do get the floral aspect, maybe a rose petal. Now, as far as the palate, they stick with the apricot, dried fruit, mild oak notes that are woven throughout. Palate lacks intensity, leading far more delicate whiskey than expected. And that's kind of what I got. I really thought this one lacked that punch of power or punch of flavor, but that's kind of what I was expecting at 86 proof. I get a heavy alcohol flavor that's coming from like a stringent oak. I'm getting that really heavily. I am not getting any fruit on this. It reminds me of your typical, double oaked barrel, but unfortunately the oak, instead of becoming like a sweet and nice balanced oak, it's more of a stringent, rough taste. Not really enjoying this one at all. As far as the finish, soft but noticeable increase of heat, found to sip closely, a rye spice in conjunction, developed into a leather note and some, all right, let's see what we get on the finish. Yeah, unfortunately for me, that stringency lingers on more than anything. It's almost like a chemical taste, and it's really not pleasant. One thing I've noticed though in the past is when I add a little bit of water to Michter's products, that butterscotch note that I absolutely love just flies through the roof. And this is even on their regular offerings. So I'm gonna give it just a couple drops of water just to see. So there's a couple drops. Swirl it around. See if that opens up the nose at all. I will say it takes that astringency, that chemical flavor down a notch, but not a lot. It really didn't change the whiskey a whole lot. Gosh, at $100, for an 86 proofer, I have to say this is a bad buy. This is something that I'm really disappointed in, and I love Michter's products. The rye toasted that's barrel proof is probably one of my favorite pours to date. The 10-year rye and the 10-year bourbon have been one of my favorites. I did get a 10-year bourbon that was meh. It was just okay. So I didn't see the value in that one, but my first one was absolutely amazing. Would I recommend this? I wouldn't. I really wouldn't recommend this. I know that if you're a bourbon enthusiast and you see it, you're gonna buy it. I don't know what they go for on secondary. Me personally, I try to stay away from secondary. Maybe as this channel grows, I'll pay more attention to it. But at this point, I stay away from the secondary market. I just try to build relationships and get bottles that way. What did you think of this bottle? Is there any alternatives? When I have a bad bottle, I try to do some mixing and try to salvage them that way. I wasn't a huge fan of Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. So what I did is I started blending it with the barrel proofs, and it improved it drastically. And it made it fun to, have a pour that night, because you're mixing, you're doing your own creation. So what do you do when you have a bad bottle? Is this something that you look to trade? Is this something that you look to hand out to your friends? Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you do in that case. And we'll hope to have some more reviews out to you soon.